Three-star diamonds. Super, super excited for this call today, as always. And I know we have waited for this one for just a couple weeks. Tammy was sick, unfortunately, last week, but she so gracefully took on today as well. So I'm so happy to have you here. Tammy is incredible. She's from Texas. She has been married to her husband, Matt, right? For how many years now? Mike. 12 years, okay. And has three, I know you have your two daughters, but you have three children, correct?
Yeah, we have, and then a stepson, so actually four, so.
Perfect. So she lives in Texas with her husband, Mike, but she has been a coach since a little over 2 years now. She right now, which is so exciting, she's ranked number 436 in the network out of 380,000 coaches. Oh, I'm echoing. Hold on one second. I'm going to mute you. Tammy, just for a second.
Okay.
Actually, will you mute yourself? Perfect. Okay. I think it was echoing there for a second. But she has been a coach now for a little over 2 years, but ranked 436 in the network out of 380,000 coaches. What's super awesome is she has all but 3 points for elite, and she has met all the requirements. She's actually grown 220,000 over last year for her volume, which is incredible. Also, I mean, just rock star status. All it is just the 5-star is what she's obviously working towards, which is so exciting. So she's going to today focus on your strengths. That's what her talk is going to be about. Real quick though, I met Tammy when I was in Texas, and I will just tell you, the most uplifting, positive person I probably met on that trip. She reminded me of Reba McEntire, and I was like, oh my gosh, even the twang, I loved it. So super excited for you to have your call today. Why don't you go ahead and unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about your story.
Okay. Well, thanks for allowing me to share here. And this wall in the background is not my house, obviously. So we really don't have brick like this, and I don't have this in my office at home. But I just wanted to, I'll start just by telling you how I got started. And I actually watched my coach for about a year before I decided to jump on board. And once I got started, I had a lot of doubts. And that's what made me want to talk about this topic, because even though I know that I do have some strengths, it's like right after I decided to coach, I just started thinking about my weaknesses. And some things, I think some reasons is I'm on a team. And when eventually Brandy, my upline coach, was in the top 10, I think in 2013. And she's a superstar coach. And probably the majority of our team are young, like in their 20s and 30s and early 30s. And so I really had this doubt that can I make this happen? I'm so much older than the rest of this team, and do I really have what it takes to make this work for me? And I can remember I have two daughters, and I wanted them to experience this because I knew if they would just jump in here, they could see what Beachbody could do for them. And of course, I talked to them about it a lot, and they weren't interested. And Brandy kept telling me that they had to see me be successful and see me work my business before they would be attracted to it. And that's really kind of how it happened. But I just floundered a little bit in the business. I would hit Success Club, but I just was not a strong recruiter because I just didn't think anybody would want to join me. And what I ended up doing is, it was about August or September of last year, I joined a group. Brandy just selected a few coaches to do a Push to Diamond group, but it wasn't a huge group. There were probably maybe 15, 20 of us in this group. And it was very intense. I mean, we had homework almost every night. We had to learn how to use all the apps, and we had to post them, and they wanted to see it before we posted to make sure it looked okay. And I mean, it was a little bit nerve-wracking, but it helps so much, because what I realized at that time is your strengths may be something that you don't even know about, because you haven't gone out of your comfort zone long enough to find them. And I think that's what happened with me. And that's really, I may share, I'm trying to do this full circle to show you sort of how it worked for me as a coach, and then how it works for me while I'm leading my coaches. But I remember when we had to do YouTube videos, and we couldn't pick the topic of exercise or nutrition. We had to pick something totally different. And it literally took me about 2 hours to do a 3-minute video, because it just didn't sound right. I kept messing up. Well, I finally posted it, and immediately I got a private message from Brandy, and she said, okay, I just want you to know that you need to start posting videos, because there's something about the way you said things that you will get people's attention. And I just feel like you're missing out on part of your market because you're not comfortable with videos, and you need to start doing that. And, after spending 2 hours making a video, that's really not what I wanted to hear. So, but I just trusted what she said. And that brings up my first point. As coaches, we really have to challenge our coaches, and we probably may have to push them out of their comfort zone, just like Brandy did me. But once we do that, then they're going to figure out on their own, is this something that will work for me? And, is this something I can do? And I will tell you that once I did that, it was crazy, because I started having people, not a lot of people would always like my videos, but I started making fitness videos. And it's funny, because we live in a small town outside of Fort Worth, Texas. And honestly, we buy groceries there and we live there, but we do everything in Fort Worth. We go to church in Fort Worth, everything. But after I started making videos, I was in the grocery store one day, and I had 2 different people come up and say, hey, are you that lady on Facebook that makes the videos? And I mean, it just shocked me, because I had no idea who they were. So, and then I went with my daughter to get her hair done, and the same thing happened, and she just looked at me. But so, my videos may not be great, but honestly now I've become very passionate about it, because it's a way that I can share from my heart, and I can share my journey. And my goal is to put something out there that will attract someone or mean something to someone. And I did a video back in June, I think, and it was leaving a legacy for your family through health. And on September 29th, it was like 3 months later, I got a message from someone that said, hey, I just watched your video on creating a legacy, and I want to get started on my journey. And she ordered the 21-day fix. And then last week she decided she wanted to coach. And so that's just kind of how that's come about. But it's not just about what, us as coaches, because obviously we're 3 stars and we figured some things out, but now our journey and our goal is to help other coaches figure it out for themselves. And, I think that's what we're here for. And when we talk about your market, my team is kind of crazy, and I think part of it is because of my daughters. They are 21 or 22 and 24 years old. And I have some 20-year-olds that have come to me that are personally sponsored. And then I have 40-year-olds that are also on my team. So I have a really wide range of ages on the team. And I try to push to diamond groups and push to emerald groups. But what I realized when I do those, a lot of people get very silent. They don't say anything. They don't, after a few days, they're not even involved. But what has happened from doing those is I've realized the ones that are ready to step up. And I think this time of the year especially, and I know that some of you are in the same boat I'm in, that you're trying to get to 5-star. That is our goal right now. And we can't just work with everybody. We have to figure out and challenge those who are willing to step up and do the work. And so, I think with those people, our job, especially this part of our season, is to challenge them daily. And I love to post. I have a group for my whole team, and then I have a group for my personally sponsored coaches. And I love to post videos in there. And it's amazing to me because every time I post one, I think, well, they won't watch that. But they do. And they're ready to listen to what I have to say. And it's amazing the response that I get. And, we need to challenge them by teaching them to, like what Brandy did with us. We need to teach them how to use apps and make them show us what they're doing. We need to have them record their own What is Coaching Call and talk about their journey, because that was one of the hardest things that I had to do, was to present my journey like that. We need to, challenge groups. I know that's something that we all do. We really work on getting them involved there. But, ask them to make a video and share it with you. Or ask them when they get to the point, and I know not everybody is there, but, challenge them to make a like page or a fitness page on Instagram. And in fact, I've got one of my diamonds right now that she has an awesome journey. She has lost over 90 pounds, and she lost most of it with 21-day fix. And she is so afraid to make a fitness page and a like page. And I'm not sure what her holdup is, but this morning I just sent her a message and I said, okay, listen, November 1st is the deadline. That is the day that you need to have your page up and running, and you've got plenty of time. You can make it happen, and great coaches are waiting on you that don't even know you, but you're not going to reach them until you do this. And I think that's just how I feel like I can best lead my team, is by challenging them and trying to encourage them to do things that aren't easy for them. Because if we don't do that, I think this is just one of those jobs that you can get stuck in a slump in a hurry. And like I tell my team, you can get in a slump for a minute or an hour or maybe a day, but you can't stay there. You have to find ways to get yourself out of it. Let me see what I've left off. That one thing that we've really focused on as a team is the power of threes that Becky talked about on the National Wake Up Call. And if you haven't tried using that, that's really good, because that will tell you if you're doing what you need to do. So anyway, I just think that we can't just throw coaches in a group and give them information and expect for them to run with it. Sometimes we need to help them along the way by helping them figure out what their strengths are and what they can do, instead of maybe them worrying about what they can't do. And until they try it, they don't know. So anyway.
So true. Thank you.
Well, I don't know if that helped, but
Absolutely. I want the ladies to be able to ask you any questions, though, if that's okay.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
Do you ladies have any questions for Tammy? Yeah.
Tammy, I love that. Do you feel like with Brandy, like totally pushing you, that made you a better coach, correct?
Well, here's the deal. The reason she was able to totally push me is because I wanted to be pushed.
Okay.
And I think that is the key because I have a coach out there who has seven coaches under her, and I've tried to push her every way I can. And what I've realized is until she wants it for herself, no. But yeah, if they're ready, and I think that by the small challenges, we can figure that out.
Well, and it's funny, I just got off another Zoom with some girls. And listen, I got it all figured out. It's just it's implementing, figuring out. I have a Push to Diamond group right now, and because my coach challenged me, and it made me challenge myself. I don't need her anymore. I push myself every day, and I've gotten over the fact that some aren't going to do it. I don't chase them. I let them go. That is fine. I have 3 in the Push to Diamond group, and they really, at the beginning, were letting me challenge, and now it's getting hard. And I said to them on Monday, I'm like, do you want to be in here or not? Because I need you to let me, I loved what you said, is let me challenge you out of your comfort level. Mm-hmm. Because, and so I really appreciate you sharing that with us, because I feel like, it's not being mean, but it's being like, okay, this is going to help you do things that you never thought you could.
Right.
Okay. No, because I liked being pushed, and some people don't, mm-hmm. which is why they're not in that group. So, yeah. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
What other questions do you ladies have?
Hi, Tammy. I have a question. I'm on TKO with you, but Brandy isn't my PS. Oh, wow. So I actually just want to know what kind of homework, and maybe if you could share some of that homework from that intense Push to Diamond, because I've been a part of the TKO Push to Diamonds, but they're the really big groups.
Yeah.
And when I put coaches in those, I always do a separate little group to make sure they're listening to the webinars, but it's not as intense, because I know you've been a part of those big ones too. So I was just wondering kind of what kind of homework, or the homework that worked really well for you, so I could kind of maybe, share that with my coaches that do want it and are pushing.
Okay. Well, first of all, what we did is we had to read a book by John Maxwell called Failing Forward. And everyone in there, we either had to read it, or she posted the YouTube video of the book. So either way, we had to go over the information. We also listened to, and I cannot remember the guy's name, but it was What Kind of Leader Are You? And that was like the first bit of homework. Is they actually had pages for us to fill out talking about our leadership qualities. How you're a leader if you're leading the pack, if you have the most Success Club points. And it was really something that stepped on my toes. But I'll see if I can find out who it was. But there were 2 different audios that we listened to about leadership skills. And that was the beginning, is we had assignments where we had to fill out the paperwork. And, they had us take pictures of it. I'm sure that homework just helped us. It didn't really, they just wanted to hold us accountable. We had to post different things every day, like maybe post a picture of food, or we had to post other things that had nothing to do with Beachbody, our kids. They had us do different posts and talked a lot. And really I can remember when I made I put together a picture and made a post about a group of What is Coaching sneak peek. And one of the Diamond coaches in that group just said, these colors that you used are terrible. And it was one of those things that was kind of like, ouch, but it really did teach me. And I had someone message me and say, did that hurt your feelings? And I just had to take it as that was just one of those learning tools. So that's one of the things we had to do. The videos, we had to make a lot of videos, including a short workout video. And that's when I ordered my little, what's it called? The tripod for your iPhone, and the Monster. I can't remember, but I ordered one of those. And that is honestly how I learned to make fitness videos without making someone hold my phone for me. And it was the same way with the videos. We had to make a lot of different videos, and they would give us a lot of topics. And then we had to record the What is Coaching, and they listened to that. So those are just some things that we did. And I don't know what the percentage was out of the group that went Diamond, but it was the best Diamond group, Push to Diamond group I've been in. And I've gone back and tried to find it. And I have so many Diamond groups on Facebook that I have a hard time locating it. But if I find it, I can post some things to be a little bit more specific for you guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I might message Brandy too, see if she remembers.
All right. Do you have one last question for Miss Tammy, and then we'll let her go back to work for the day? Nothing?
I will say that
Yeah.
I'm very excited because Brandy's Diamond Retreat, we can start tomorrow or Thursday, but we're going to unleash the power within with Tony Robbins in Los Angeles. So I'm very excited about that and really excited about hopefully changes that will take place right here. So anyway, thank y'all for getting on the call, and I hope that there was something that you learned that helped you. So
I love it. Thank you, Tammy. And I agree. If there's any of you that can absolutely get to an event like that will really inspire you to really finish this year strong, I strongly, strongly, strongly suggest it, because it's truly, just redirecting your thinking and knowing that no matter what, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are going to hit your goal and you're going to fly past that goal. But it all starts with the positive I am. I am a strong businesswoman. I am a 5-star Diamond Elite coach. I am. And once you start believing it, it will happen. I promise you. But just a reminder. Awesome. Yes, Allison has her little retreat with Julia Jackson, which is so cool this weekend. And I want you guys to take this back to your team is just remember to always be in phase 1, just like Carl said, right? Plant the seed. And I promise you, phase 1, 3 vitals, really honing in on you. And I want to share also with you, I was at Huntington Beach Super Saturday, and Rain O'Dell got up and spoke, and she even said, I sat down with Amy Silverman, and this was before Raina was in the top 10, and she sat down with Amy Silverman, and she said, what is it that you are doing to be so successful? And Amy just looked at her and said, you know what, I stay in phase 1. And Raina's like, wait, what's phase 1? Phase 1 is where you're building you. You're helping yourself to better yourself. The only person you can change is you. And so you always go back to phase 1, even when coaches say it's more quiet this month or whatever it is. Phase 1. And I promise you, you will not procrastinate. The easiest thing in this business is to procrastinate because you get some time on your hand and then you're like, oh, I can do it later. I'm going to challenge you to get up and do everything just like it was the busiest month you've ever had. And I promise you, you will grow leaps and bounds. Plus, I'm going to challenge you again to not only be the fitness nutrition expert that you will be January 1st, be the entrepreneur, be the strong businesswoman that can help lead and guide other women to success, because they will either, when somebody writes down their goals, they want fitness and they want more money, right? You can do both of those. So be marketed in both areas. So Tammy, I love it. Focusing on your strengths, because once you had your coach tell you you are amazing at this, you're able to run with it. So thank you for taking your time out of work today. We really appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you, ladies, for popping on. What did you want to say, Tammy?
Well, I just wanted to say I appreciate the ideas that we've gotten in this group. And I do have my vision board all made up, and my husband laughs and rolls his eyes every time he looks at it, but that's okay. So anyway, and the revolving Girl Boss Boot Camp is amazing. It is so easy to get new coaches plugged in there. And those are just a couple of things, but I've really enjoyed all the ideas that we've gotten from here. So thank y'all.
Yep, absolutely. Well, you beautiful, beautiful women, have an amazing day, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks, Tammy.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you.